What's happening, YouTube? Jonathan Pariente, the Education 10 here, coming at you guys with another video. Would like to ask you guys to please continue to hit up my channel and subscribe for more YouTube videos. So my video today, of course, coming off the shocking news that you guys in the NFL have heard, Andrew Luck, the longtime quarterback of the Colts, been there since 2009, he decided to retire following a rash of many injuries and just didn't want to go through the recovery and through the pain of them again. Now, for Andrew Luck, that was not an easy decision, and you saw it in his eyes during his press conference. You saw how difficult and how emotional of a decision this was for him. This is a guy that grew up playing football. His father was an NFL quarterback. He looked up to Adam Vinatieri growing up. And as luck would have it, ironically enough, luck would have it, he got to play with Vinatieri. He not only won the respect of him, he won the respect of every teammate on his crew. Every teammate loved playing with him. The fans loved him. And believe me, to be able to follow in the footsteps of Peyton Manning to be that next franchise quarterback was not an easy task, but Luck handled it extremely well. Luck will finish his NFL career with 2,000 completions, with over 23,000 yards. All in all, pretty solid NFL career for a quarterback. Been to the playoffs a couple, took the Colts to the playoffs. Not too many quarterbacks can even say they did that. Luck has. So, for him to make the decision that he did, and obviously, he basically said he was in a lot of pain for a while, and he didn't want to go through the motions over and over again of going through it anymore, of rehabbing, recovering. It just got to the point where, and this happens to people, believe me, this can happen to anyone. You've been doing something for so long and you dedicate your life to something, and sometimes it just burns you out. You just feel like, why am I doing this anymore? Should I continue to do this anymore? Do I want to be stuck in this cycle anymore? So Luck decided he didn't want to do this anymore. Felt like he's done what he could. And he thought about his health and his own future over his dream of playing football. I give him credit for doing that. And what upset me is when the Colts fans, who had been behind Luck since he got drafted, booed him off the field the day he retires. Now, as a society, I know and I believe we've come a long way from where we were. But to boo Andrew Luck, to basically just kind of feel like, oh, Luck is quitting just because, so he's hurt. Oh, he decides now to leave 2 weeks before the season begins, put the Colts in a bad position, selfishness. This is what we need to understand here as human beings here. We need to understand this as human beings appropriately. Players go through a lot of stress in their lifetime. Athletes have to constantly go through media coverage, constantly going to be under scrutiny for decisions they did or didn't make. They constantly are going to hear it from people why your team didn't win. Constantly have them under a microscope. The littlest things they do wrong, that's going to be in the next day's paper or on the next day's media news. That's not an easy thing. That brings on a lot of stress. And Luck doesn't need to go through any more of that anymore. Who knows? Maybe if Luck heals up, and I don't know if that's going to happen, but we've seen some players do this. They retire, and then maybe come out of retirement later on. Maybe Luck just needs a break from the game, and maybe he'll come back again. Who knows? But right now, Luck wants to focus on his health, wants to get himself back, and I don't blame him. He's not the first player to retire at 30 years old, and he certainly won't be the last. I could think of 2 other players that retired at 30 years old. Felt like they still had more of their career ahead of them, but they decided it was enough. Barry Sanders was 30 years old when he retired, running back for the Lions. Megatron retired when he was 30. Calvin Johnson. Did they have injuries? Of course they had injuries. Absolutely. No player in the NFL didn't go their whole career without getting hurt. Injuries are part of the game. But it got to the point where maybe the injuries were piling up. They didn't want to go through any more pain. They didn't want to go through any more suffering. They want to leave in good health and not feel the long-term effects after you leave. And more players around the league are beginning to do this. Rob Gronkowski retired already earlier in the offseason. And he was only 29 years old. Gronkowski had a lot of injuries. He couldn't stay healthy. And at the end of the day, he wanted to keep his health intact. He doesn't want to end up in a wheelchair. He doesn't want to end up being paralyzed. He doesn't want to end up having a loss of memory. Nobody does. And I think players have now begun to realize this now throughout their NFL career, that maybe after 10 years, I should walk away when I'm still in good health. I shouldn't keep pushing it another couple more years and risk getting that concussion, risk getting a head injury, risk losing memory, who knows? And I think many more NFL players now are learning from the passing of Junior Seau, who had brain-related injuries from his NFL career that took his life later on. I think players are now beginning to realize how important now their life is and how important their health is now, that they will not play the estimated amount of time that NFL players in the past played. They might not play 15, 16 years. After all, the NFL is a very short, the NFL is a very career-changing type of job. Careers are short. Careers are fast. Just look at what happened to Eric LeGrand. A promising kid out of college. He got tackled the wrong way. He got basically tackled on a kickoff return. And right now, Eric LeGrand sits in a wheelchair, possibly for the rest of his life. He's lucky to be alive right now. He's lucky that and it's very good that he found something outside where he could still be a part of the game, even though he's not playing the game anymore. But as you see, one wrong move, and that could be the end of your career as a player for football. So I respect Andrew Luck's decision to walk away while he still is young, 30 years old. I want to read a very important quote here, kind of to end the video here, and I think it's very important that we take a look at this quote. Little trivia question, if you can guess what movie this quote's from. It's from a pretty old movie, not too many years old, but if you guys can register a guess to what movie this quote is from, I'll give you a thumbs up. I'll say, good job, you got it right, or whatever. But here it is. We need a hero. Courageous, sacrificing people, setting examples for all of us. Everybody loves a hero. People line up for them, cheer for them, scream their names, and years later tell how they stood in the rain for hours just to get a glimpse of the one who told them to hold on a second longer. I believe there's a hero in all of us that keeps us honest, gives us strength, makes us noble, and finally gets us to die with pride. Even though sometimes we have to be steady and give up the thing we want the most, even our dreams. Andrew Luck had to do that the other day. It was not easy for him, as you saw. I already stated this earlier. Sometimes the strongest person is one who admits that I can't keep doing this anymore. That's who a real hero is. When you go up there and say to the world, I can't do this anymore because I don't want to risk hurting myself anymore. As hard as that is for anybody to say, believe me, it is. But to be able to say it and to not feel any regret, to not feel any backlash, being willing to take what's given to you despite everything that you're giving up. It takes a lot. I certainly hope that Andrew Luck will be able to get himself back, find something going forward. Does it mean he'll come back to the NFL? Probably not. If he said he retired and it seemed like this was the best, he said this is the better decision for me to think about my long-term future. We'll see. But I think for Luck, this was important for him because he's had a lot of injuries. He didn't have any head injuries, but he had a couple of injuries that could have threatened his career. And I think, for Luck to do this was brave of him. And I certainly wish him the very best in the rest of his life. We'll see where Luck goes going forward. Jonathan Pariente, The Education 10, saying bye for now.